Good evening, everyone. The fans' verdicts. Were you the fellow fans? Get your opinions through from the game that's just happened this afternoon. That's a 2-1 defeat away at Turf Moor against Burnley. Bar getting our consolation. Just a big shout out to Sir Dunk. Evening, mate.
Evening.
Oh, mate. Right, so we'll get straight on with your opinions, mate, about that. Mine sort of flickered on and off, but just that the stream was an absolute nightmare. Just a massive shout out as always to, as we're in association with the Former Players Club, tailor-made Former Players Club, fronted by our Watford's favourite son, Luther Blissett, hopefully still on the men, Luther, and 1984 FA Cup final left back Neil Price. So head on over to Facebook for tailor-made for community, and obviously any news and updates in guarding obviously Luther and the TaylorMade Former Players Club, we will obviously post up before them as ever. Sorry, don't, just before we go on, so I'm not waffling there. My sister's just come on. Hello, Lucy. Big shout out to Lucy there. Massive shout out to Phelps as well, Super Phelps, who's down there as well.
Somewhere down here. You can see his ass. There you go. You can see his ass. That'll do.
He's trying to search for the equaliser. That he's obviously not going to find, but
we'll be waiting a while for that.
Exactly, mate. On to that, mate. Okay, look, team riding high. It's going to be a tall order, mate. But what's your assessment of that?
I think the problem isn't how we lost to Burnley. They are where they are on the table for good reason. Turf Moor is a very hard ground to go to. We've not had great success there in recent years, but it's more the fact we started off, I think, with the wrong shape. In midfield, we didn't have control there to begin with, and it just got worse. And I think, I don't know what I've done. Having Loser out, remember, Loser without illness today, not injury, so should be back for next game, hopefully, was a huge blow because midfield's quite thin as it is. But it's a hard one to really call in terms of what there was that was positive. Because I think the goal flattered us, to be honest. I don't think we were at the races at all. And we've said that for almost every away game this season. It's a pattern. Cleverly has acknowledged as much, not like previously and today as always. Because Cleverly's quote, the damning was that we were hiding from the ball, basically. It wasn't just the fact that we were outfought. It was the fact that we were hiding from the ball. If we're doing that, we're never going to have a chance.
Yeah. He's got a quick question for you, mate. Sorry, go on.
What have you got? Not this time.
Not this time, no. It's just sorry to. These are the key questions that we need to know. Sorry, mate, go on.
That's what it was. It was a bow. Not a deposit, it was a bow.
Yeah, I apologise once again, as always, mate. Was it if I ever, I'm not over talking you, mate. It's a slight delay occasionally with the sound. It happens. With Dino's side as well. Not Dino's side. It happens on StreamYard sometimes. So apologies, mate. Yeah, Connor, don't worry. Tut. Yeah, Lucy's putting tut. Yeah, he says, hey, Pidge, sorry I've missed some shows, mate. No, absolutely not. Flags on Fire. Big shout out to them. Awesome band starting up. That's Connor, who's the lead singer and rhythm guitarist as well. So massive shout out. Connor, if you want to share a link, mate, we'll put that up for you. Flags on Fire. Big shout out to them. Yeah, the worst part about staying over with the missus last night was that the scum one. Yeah, no, I don't really want to say that, but there you go. Look, we're still in the hunt for a playoff position. That's Tom's aim this season, which is, fantastic. I don't expect us to get it. I'm not just saying that on the back of today's result. I do expect us now to be pushing on and at least competing until the end of the season. If we're still there and thereabouts and we just miss out, it's a great platform for next season if only we can just take that extra step. But yeah, you got something to show, mate, as well.
Yeah, it's just where we are on the table, really. It's nothing too exciting there, but it's just backing up the point that losing today isn't world-ending. Today's loss isn't a season-defining result by any means. We're only halfway through the season. You never know who could do a derby of quite a few years ago now, and just drop off from up here potentially, whether it's us or someone else. Then who comes up from below here? It's still too early. It gives you a good idea, but it's still too early to call where teams are going to fall still. There's plenty to play for. We just can't get too high or low on it, really. I think where we are is probably roughly about right. We're a team which is got a lot of growth in it, got a lot of mistakes in it, but ultimately there is good quality there. I mean, yes, Vata was hauled off at half time, because I think that wasn't necessarily a reflection on Vata, but I think more they cleverly got the shape wrong to begin with, because we did look better after the break when we got into the shape more comfortable, which is the wing backs. So I do think it's really hard not to, but we can't be too reactionary with it, is how I'm viewing it. We have to take a long-term view on it.
Yeah, what do you think of the starting lineup as well? Just before I say that, mate, sort of apologies, mate. I gave you a question, not letting you answer it. Callum saying I still have high hopes for Tom. He's still got something to come together. Rome wasn't built in a day. Absolutely right, mate. Do you echo those sentiments?
Yeah, exactly. I know that's what I mean. We can't be too. By all means, we can rightly criticise when a performance not been up to scratch, and today in the first half especially was absolutely unacceptable. The second half we saw more of a fight to us, even if it wasn't as good. I thought Jefferson had his best cameo since he's joined us at last. I thought he helped. He won the corner, which led to our goal. But I thought for the first time he actually looked somewhat acceptable as a backup to Bio, or as competition to Bio. And I've not seen that previously, so hopefully we can see him build on that, because he ran the channels better. I don't think he was great harassing the centre backs, but at least he was stretching them a little bit more. But if you want to go back to your original question about whether we set ourselves up right.
Yeah, go for it, mate.
That's right. I'm sharing the original lineup. I don't think we set ourselves right. I don't think we set ourselves up right. I understand the intention of what we did last week, where we had Vata, Bar, Chatfatadze all in the team, as well as having a focal point in Bio. The theory's fine. We saw how good it was last week. But this week, Burnley's quality in midfield was better than ours. And Duomo had a very rocky start, but I think he actually grew into it. The midfielder I'm really not sold on is Sissoko. I don't know about you, Pidge, but I'm finding he's not. He cares. I don't question Sissoko's attitude, but I do question his effectiveness on the pitch at the moment. What do you think about that one?
I like to say, you know me, I rate Sissoko. I think the experience there with Ogbonna, I think it's crucial to what we're doing. But I think in terms of his legs, he's struggling. I don't want to say it, but I think you wouldn't have seen Sissoko there if we had a fit loser. I think Duoma and loser would have started that today. I think that just for the legs in midfield, the experience, absolutely, I'd put Sissoko in all day long alongside Ogbonna. Just for the experience. But when you're having an energetic midfield playing against you, i.e. what Burnley have got, and a lot of teams seem to invest a lot in the Championship, fast, quick, pacey, squeeze you as well going on the attack. You need fast players that can cover the lines. And there's probably, Deli Bashiru is probably our best player for that. And that's not necessarily my first comment. That's more sort of Greg Thieck, who usually comes on Sundays now. That's what he was saying, and I do agree with that he's probably our best player to fit that central midfield role at the moment, because he comes in, claims, tries to drive on, and him and Loser would be a fantastic partnership. But Duoma's getting there. I think he's going to be a very, very good player. I think we need to have a settled midfield. I think Sissoko and TDB did have that, but problem is, because we've had injuries, and like every squad has, it's unsettled the midfields slightly, and I think Sissoko's playing more games than he should be, in my opinion. I mean, when we get a fit loser once again, I know he was ill today, I don't think we'll see much of Sissoko, to be fair. I think you'll see either Bachmann or Pollock have the captaincy after that. I'm not hating on Sissoko at all, mate. I just think it'll probably be our midfield going forward. If obviously, fingers crossed, TDB does get fit, but if he doesn't, I think it'll be Loser and Dwoma moving forward more consistently on throughout the games. Obviously, we'll switch them because there's a lot of Tuesdays and Saturdays coming up. But I think that'll be the midfield too going forward the next few months, mate. I believe.
Yeah, I'd go with that. I think having someone like Sissoko for the dressing room and for setting the tone and the training side of it, I think that can be overlooked. Because by all accounts, Sissoko is a fantastic personality. He's a very hard trainer. Obviously, he's got the seniority to be respected. And he leads very much by example. And I think that can be overlooked because we have quite a young squad.
Yeah.
I mean, Duomo's like, 21, 22, I think, around that age range, if not younger. That is 18, 19. Chatford Tadze still in his early 20s, which sounds hard to believe. I think
he's only about 23, isn't he?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, Pollock is only 22. Porteous is actually now coming up to his mid-20s, like 25, 26 now.
Yeah.
Ngakia, again, early 20s. Barr, early 20s. Larucci's only 23, 24. So I know I keep harping about ages here, but you get the idea. A lot of our starting players and a lot of what we're relying on are still quite young, which naturally leads to some inconsistency anyway. A lot of excitement, but a lot of inconsistency still. So I think having someone like Cleverley who's very good at working with younger players, that's very evident. And I think his latest appointment with Paul Robinson has been inspired because it's very much a good balance. Paul Robinson, from what I've heard, is very much good cop, bad cop. Cleverley's good cop. He's a bad cop, but players, from I know, respect him because he's honest with them. Whereas Cleverley might put an arm around the shoulder, he'll give them kick up the arse. And I think we have quite a good coaching setup for the now and the future. But it just take time, which isn't easy in the modern game.
Yeah. Finish, mate.
Yeah,
I'm just listening. I'm listening away, mate. To be honest, just throw out a few more comments as there. My mum's watching apparently. Hi, mum. And so's Lucy. The lesser better looking of the two siblings of me mum, by the way. Obviously I'm the better looking one, which is not much guide. Right, Halsey's saying watching Burnley's second goal, knocking it about as they did, it showed a difference in class. Yeah, absolutely right. Mr. Connor, flags of fire. He says Xhaka is definitely a strong midfielder in my opinion. Great at making chances. We need to keep him. Yeah, I do believe we'll keep him until minimum end of the season, but you know we'll see what's going on there. To be fair, do you want me to share this now, mate, or you ready to go?
Hang on.
Cool.
I shouldn't be sharing. I would have seen the stream there.
That's all right. I'll tell you what. While you're doing that, mate, let me just throw out a few things about Cleverley. Obviously, he's come out. We posted this on the TaylorMade Army forum. His post-match comments, but also I've got a few here from WatfordFC.com. So he says, on the result, I think the scoreline flattered us, and I've told that to the players afterwards. Let's not get in a false sense of security after 2-1 away at Burnley. That could have been a lot more convincing. Nowhere near an acceptable performance from us today. I think they showed more personality to play, get on the ball. They showed better problem solving, but more worryingly, they ran more and they tackled harder. So it's so it is a disappointing afternoon. If we are serious about our ambitions, we have to be have a better mindset in these away games where you are going to suffer setbacks. And he also said at home, we have suffered setbacks and responded to them, but away from home, we just don't show the same character or mindset to be able to come back from deficits. That's pretty much. And just quick thing about he thinks on where the game was lost. He says about after about 5 minutes, I thought we started the game well, and then a couple of setbacks, lost balls and lost tackles. The crowd got up, and we struggled to show any sort of personality to turn that around. I mean, looking at that lineup as well, just before I come straight to you, mate. But
that's right.
Looking at that lineup, I was quite happy there because previous away lineups been slightly different to the home ones in terms of like the last game that we played. I think it was Hull. We played it. You know, we kept Vatter and Barr on the bench, and you had likes of Kiembe. I still think he's a good player, but it was a bit more. We seem to play a bit more conservative away, and I think obviously Klebs is looking at this and saying, "Look, we play so open at home. You know, more to the way he wants to play, press, put teams under pressure early, give them limited." Availability to attackers as well, and it's more or less it seemed to have worked at home, which is trying to replicate that and put that away. But yeah, you got a video up, mate. Is this the Cleverly one?
No, it's just I was trying to find the team sheet from Hull as you were quoting earlier. I'm still trying to find it, but
yeah, go for it, mate.
Yeah, but ultimately, it's just trying to back up the point you were making earlier, where I'm glad to see Cleverley's trying to find a solution. He's not, because one of the bigger things I was getting worried about with him, I'm still a little bit worried, is that he's trying to do the same thing. Like, he's not trying to adapt. But I think we are seeing him trying to adapt now a little bit more.
Yeah.
Such as with the lineup against West Brom, which was a new lineup. We hadn't seen that earlier in the season. Maybe because Vassar and Barr weren't fully prepared for it, as I think he was quite honest about. I think maybe going forward, I wonder, ideally, if Cleverley actually wants to play a 4-3-3 going forward, where you'd have Vatter left, Barr right, striker down the middle, whether it's Bio, Jebbers, or whoever else. Because that way you can get more of your team on, but I just don't think we have the midfield or the fullbacks or the wingbacks for it, depending how you want to classify them. So I think that's why we're still seeing the 5-3, like 5-2-2-1. Because I don't think we have the personnel to play 4-3-3 reliably for every opposition. So I think Cleverley's trying to figure out how to adapt. When do I use my 5-2-2-1? When do I use a 4-3-3? How do I try and keep things fresh so we're hard to plan for by the opposition, as much as how do I make sure we have a balanced squad and a good attacking threat, which isn't an easy thing to manage. Our squad is talented, but it's young, so it's inconsistent.
Yeah, big shout out to Big Dave, by the way. He's watching as well. One of my work colleagues at Hemel Hospital. Cheers, mate. So, yeah, he obviously catches up with the games as well, and always good, knowledgeable fellow when you chat to him about football as well. So, yeah, evening, mate. Yeah, look, going forward, we've got 2 tricky home games. I mean, no team's a mug in this. We've said this. No, there's no mugs in this league. Any team can beat anyone on their day. Boxing Day coming up. Obviously, Christmas before. Obviously, stating the obvious. Christmas before that. Boxing Day straight after with Portsmouth at home. Bristol City straight after that on the 4th. Look, you know, they're both really, really tough games. Portsmouth have just literally just come off a 4-1 spanking today. I think it was Coventry, wasn't it? I think did they beat Coventry? I think they beat them 4-1. I was going to share that screen then for a second.
Yeah,
I realised
4-1.
That's right. 4-1.
You can share this one.
To share it now, mate?
Yeah, go for it. It's just showing the upcoming fixtures, that's all.
How many points do you reckon? And everyone watching as well, how many points do you reckon we'll get? Shall we say in the next 3? Oh, yeah, apologies. We have got, is it Cardiff? So it's...
You've got Portsmouth, playing Portsmouth on 26th there.
Yeah.
You've then got Cardiff on 29th. Then QPR away, 1st of Jan.
No, we've got Bristol City. We've got Bristol City on the 4th, haven't we? Oh, Sheffield United, sorry.
That's
sorry,
right.
Apologies.
United there.
I'm getting them mixed up now. Right,
So
go on.
Yeah, so we do up to the FA Cup then, this sort of next 4-block game.
Yeah.
So Portsmouth at home, Cardiff at home, QPR away, and then Sheffield United at home. Do you want to do that block?
That's it. Right, look. looking at Cardiff, and like we said, once again, are no mugs. They're going to come here expecting to try and get a point out of us. Big shout out to Omar Ritzer as well, good friend of the show, one of the nicest guys you can meet as well. Had the pleasure of meeting him a couple of times. He's been on the podcast as well, so I wish him all the best. Portsmouth is going to be tricky. I mean, Connor's said 4 to 6 points, he reckons, for the next few games. Look, forget what I said about the fixtures because I'm completely over my head. I don't know what I was going on about the fixtures, but we've got Portsmouth at home, Cardiff away, and then Cardiff at home. With 2 home games, we've got Portsmouth and Cardiff at home, QPR away. How many points out of those? I'm looking at, I mean, really, if we're going to look at it, because Sheffield United's going to be one hell of a game, home or away. Obviously, they beat us 1-0 at the reverse fixture earlier in the season. Taking the Sheffield United game out of the way, you need to be looking at least 6 to 7 points from that.
That's
from those 3 games.
6 to 7. That's exactly what I was going to say for the next 4 games. Because I think between Portsmouth, Cardiff, and QPR, you'd be expecting 2 wins. The way football is, you probably get a draw in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And then Sheffield United, I agree. I don't think we have the same quality as they do, and that's shown in the table as well. I think we'll give a better showing than we did away against them, but I think that'll be a loss at home. So I agree. 6 to 7 points is what I'm thinking.
Thing is though, you look at our home form, getting the team like Sheffield United, who, you know, kudos to Chris Wilder because he really inherited a shit show at us. He's gone back to the team he supported, the team that he got promoted through the divisions as well, and he's done magnificent with them. Got them back, and probably dragging them kicking and screaming back to the Prem by all accounts at the moment. The way it stands, I wouldn't be surprised if we get 3 points against Sheffield United, and this is not an arrogant prediction whatsoever. But you look at the teams we've beaten. We've beaten Sunderland at home as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. West Brom, you know, the top sides. You know, they don't concede many goals, and we've beaten those sort of sides. And Sheffield United are well known, one for being unbeaten, and also for not conceding many goals. And I wouldn't be surprised if we pull off something there. But I think, that out of all of them, that'll be definitely our biggest test of the season. Obviously, the 2 or 3 games prior to that are obviously going to be massive tests. You know, no team is unbeatable in this league. But it doesn't. I think the beauty of the Championship as well, mate, and you know this, you can be fighting relegation, not 1 for 6 games, and you can beat the top side. That's how crazy this league is.
That's the way it works. It's honestly the way it works with this league sometimes. There's no easy game. It's a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason. If you don't turn up, if you don't give 100% from each player and full commitment, and you think just turning up and playing the sort of easy on the eye things without putting the actual graft into it, you won't turn teams over that way. You have to commit. If you don't, it's hard to, each game, do that 46 games a season, there will be times you won't turn up, as annoying as that can be, and you will get turned over, and that can be against someone around you or at the other end of the table. It doesn't matter who it is. It can and will happen.
So you're looking at the next 3 games prior to Sheffield United, you're looking at about 6 to 7 as well?
Yeah, I'm saying if the next block of 4 games, I'd say 7 points. That's what I'm going for.
I think Connor said 4 to 6 in the next 2 home games. I think that's pretty sound, I think.
Yeah, that's what we'd be hoping for.
Yeah.
Really.
He said for the next 2 games. Also, Hull's evening, I haven't said already, evening Hull's. He says, we have to beat QPR. Kevin Hollins, evening, mate. He says, got to be hoping for 6 points from the next 2 games and a few goals. And also, Hull's saying, and also Fulham in the Cup to wipe off that smarmy grim off of Silver's face. That wouldn't be too bad, mate, to be fair. Also, Connor said, in my opinion, mate, one of the biggest tests of the season will be Scum at home in February. Certainly, I've booked time off for that one. I'm certainly not missing that one, definitely. But that one's to come. We've got plenty of massive tests to follow. But Yeah, we need to get something from that game. Absolutely, mate. Save some, bragging rights and pride from that. But plenty of challenges coming up. Like I say, Halsey, same with Fulham coming up as well. That'd be nice if we can get a result there. But in the cold light of day, I think that's one of those games that it's not. We're not going to lose much sleep if we lose that game. But going forward, the busy Christmas period. I mean, a lot of people. I mean, we've got some few season ticket holders where I work with as well, and they say the Christmas period can and has made can make or break a season, mate. Do you think it is vital that we do get points from this, certainly to bounce back in the next game?
I mean, so far, I'd say we're doing better than previous seasons during the Christmas break. I remember, was it 2 years ago, we had that injury crisis with under Slaven Bilic going on to Wilder, as you said earlier. We had like 16, 17 senior injuries during January, along something ridiculous like that. And we seem to be managing a lot better. And whether that's because Cleverley's been very good with the medical staff, or whether just more lucky, maybe. Because luck can just be a thing. You might just be unlucky and someone's hamstring goes in a key position. Suddenly you're putting players out of position or putting someone under additional workload to cover it. They pick up an injury because of that and you get into a spiral. Whereas we generally seem to be managing that a lot better this season. So I think you need some level of luck. You make a bit of your own luck as well, keeping that controlled and managed. And we'd seem to be on a fairly level course. We are picking up points. It's not like we've gone on massive losing runs at any real point this season, but neither have we gone on a long win streak either, because we are too reliant on just being a home team. And it's hard to say why that's the case, isn't it? I can't see what the obvious answer is, nor can Cleverley, which I understand, but it's still a concern.
Absolutely, mate. I mean, there's two ways of looking at it, and you're absolutely spot on with that. You're looking at it the first way, and we've always said this: make your home a fortress, win your home games, and then you can pick up a point or two away. Problem is, though, there'll be times where we will lose at home. I mean, at the moment, it's absolutely amazing. I mean, we were searching for any type of point at home last season. I mean, touch wood, we haven't lost yet at home. It will come, but problem is, though, when the home form starts to dip, you need to start picking up points away. I'm an advocate of I don't care where it comes from as long as we win. Problem is, though, and you're absolutely right, we need to sort this home form out. I know Moob said it in the forward reviews as well, that the away form needs to happen. It's like you said also before early in the show, that he needs to find that formula that seems to work. Okay, we've had indifferent performances, we still haven't lost. That formula that seems to work so well at home that we can't seem to replicate away, which is really frustrating, because we can't rely on our home form too much. We need to start picking up a few away wins, and we're capable of it. It's just getting that key to open that lock, sort of thing, if you know what I mean. We need to find that formula that works so well at home and replicate it away. But it's one of those conundrums that no one can really find a solution to at the moment, because we go away and we seem to be a slightly different team away than we are at home. Maybe it's the crowd, I don't know. Playing to a home crowd, but I think no one really knows. I mean, have you made any sense of it so far?
I mean, what I don't understand is, I think our best overall performance, whether home or away of the season, was when we drew away at Plymouth 2-2. That was actually our best overall game where we controlled it. We made lots of good chances. We looked cohesive and we didn't look intimidated. So it's a weird one. Despite our incredible home form, I thought that was our best performance, and it was actually away against a team which has been remarkably good at home as well. So I don't quite. It has to be a mentality thing, and I don't know how you change that easily. That's what I'm struggling with, because our players shouldn't be struggling with to that extent with it. Even Sheffield Wednesday, I was there for that one. Pierre Duomo was brilliant that game. The problem, even Sheffield Wednesday, remember, the first half was very even. The first half against Sheffield Wednesday was very even. And even though we'd scored, Wednesday had chances. It wasn't controlled. I wouldn't say it was as controlled as Plymouth was, where for a good 70, 80 minutes, we were the better team in creating chances and managing it. It took a fantastic, I hate to say it, fantastic Andre Gray volley. First time across Golden's ball corner in the first half, and then the one at the end. But after they only had one good one chance shortly after their first goal. They had 3 good chances, Plymouth, the whole game. They took 2 of them. But we had probably 7, 8 when you took 2. And that was the frustrating thing about it. Because that game, we haven't actually replicated that level since, I think. Even though we scored 6 against Wednesday, and second half, we were brilliant. Remember, I think we conceded 1 or 2 goals that half as well. We didn't have full control. It was a very fun half. We had control for a lot of it, but it wasn't as good overall over the 90 minutes as Plymouth.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, just throw out a few comments here, but yeah, I pretty much agree with that. I mean, in terms of goals, obviously Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesday. Okay, but yeah, I mean, it must have been amazing going to that. I was at work at the time watching that in between doing jobs, but oh yeah, what a fantastic day. I'm glad because I mean, this season away hasn't been fantastic for a lot of people, i.e. yourself, Danny Iron, and all the other people that seem to try and get the bulk of the away games in as well. So it'd be nice if we can get a few away wins for you guys as well. Yeah, Olsey saying, Pidge, make sure you bring give Moobsy his City shirt back. He might want it, might not want it at the moment. Yeah, no, I think he's gutted about that. Callum said the way they are falling might be in our favour, mate. That's, I think, probably Luton. He says, I get that. Unbeaten at home is impressive with our last few seasons, but yeah, the away form does need some work. Now, Halsey, so long as the home run isn't ended by that mob with an airport, I wonder who you're on about, mate. I don't want to obviously swear on the podcast here. Unbeaten at home is impressive with. What about Sheffield United? Here we go. Here's a question for it from Halsey. What about Sheffield Wednesday away? Did you answered that as well? Didn't
That's
you,
what I answered earlier. Yeah.
Cool. Apologies, mate. Yeah, right. Good question, Halsey. Kevin said, I think the way we're going with home wins and struggling a bit away, we might be looking at a real promotion push next season. Yeah, I mean, if we finish, obviously challenging thereabouts,
9th to 7th sort of region.
That's it. Yeah, if we finish about between 7th and 10th this season, and then really give them something to think about up to pretty much the last day or the last couple of games, then obviously it's something fantastic to build on next season. As long as obviously, including January, the pot says Backham, which incidentally we've got Greg Thieker, aka Wendover Horn, coming on the next week or so, giving his transfer targets. So look out for that. Also, Connor says, for me, it feels like they are becoming solid in one aspect, but the away form definitely needs some work. Absolutely, mate. We'll be shooting off in a minute, guys. Just before I get final thoughts from Sir Dunk. Just remember, tomorrow night, you choose the topics. We will discuss them. That's obviously TMA Sunday Night Live, 8 p.m. Look out for that. So, as always, massive thank you for all your comments and your topics. We'll be putting out a post on the Taylor Made Army forum as ever. So, like we always say, make them different topics. First 3, we will try and shout out, try our best to get that. So, myself, Canadian Darren, the man, the myth, the legend, Moobdinho, and the Turkish immigrant Dino will be on tomorrow night. Next week, make sure his lady friend takes her clothes home. Yeah, that's just be cautious there, mate.
That's boxes over there. That's my boxes.
Yeah, he's making out his boxes holes. He don't believe him, mate. Cheers, fellas. Have a good Christmas. Yeah, and you, mate. Thank you very much, Kevin. Long live TMA. Thanks, Peter. Yeah, final thoughts on the game, mate. Like I said, my final thoughts is the away form needs to improve, but let's look forward to the next couple of games. But final thoughts from you, mate, before we go.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to sometimes because every result does feel so important, but we just have to keep a longer-term view on it. Just keep the patience. Cleverly, he's a year into it now. He's not a rookie, I'd say, anymore, but he's still learning. So we just have to sort of grow with him, really, I think.
Yeah, next few games, mate. Do you just before we go, obviously, next few games, do you think this is going to define our season? Or do you think there's plenty more to come in the tank?
There's plenty more to come in the tank. I still think there's a lot of room for this team to grow in. We haven't seen the best of this team yet. So that gives us optimism there. It's just a case of can Cleverly unlock it.
Cool, mate. Right. See you tomorrow, guys.